probably going to be short and sweet to the point, so let's get started. So I ordered this from First Book. So it's like First Book Marketplace. It's a book warehouse, but it's made specifically for like librarians and educators and people who work with kids to get newer books and like a good variety of books for like really, really, really cheap to be able to use in their classrooms and their libraries. So like every now and then I'll buy some. I haven't got any since back in May. They do like a teacher appreciation sale, and they usually put stuff on pretty good clearance. But they did a $40 off thing the other day, and I was like, Janeway, I kind of want that. Come here. Come here. Come here. He's Pepper. Not to fling around a knife. But anyway, I ordered a few books. I know there's quite a few graphic novels in here. I'm always like using them for graphic novels because those are expensive all the time. So whenever you can get them a little bit cheaper, it's great. But even though most of these are going to my classroom, I brought them here because I want to kind of vet them first, and there's some of them that I want to read before I put them in the classroom. So, gracious. And I'm not going to look at the packing slip right now at all because I know some of the books I ordered, but I want to make sure, like, I kind of can still surprise myself. So I'm just going to pull them out of the box and I'm going to look, and I have Bite Risk. Bite Risk is, you know, when I do the captions for these videos, I always sound like absolutely insane because I'm just and all over and again. Anyway, I'm going to read what it's about. There's a little werewolf in the back, so you can kind of get the vibe. Nothing interesting ever seems to happen in Trimmerglade, well, unless you count the one night a month when the full moon rises and kids must lock up their parents while they transform into werewolf-like creatures called Rippers. But that's the whole world's new normal since disruption changed everything, well before 13-year-old Sale was born. When strange things begin to happen in their remote, isolated town, though, Sale and his friends start to ask questions about what's really going on there, and suspiciously soon after they do, Rippers begin escaping on confinement nights, people start disappearing, and the kids suspect they're being followed. Maybe there's a reason no one ever seems to leave Trimmerglade, and it's up to Sale and his friends to figure out the truth someone doesn't want them to know before another full moon puts them all at bite risk. I'm always looking for stuff like this that's a little bit different. I don't have a lot of supernatural and paranormal stuff, so that'll be cool. Again, not looking. And I know I have multiples of some of these already. Not a lot. No, there's not that many multiples, but some I do. Oh, Ghost Roast. This is a graphic novel. Ghost Roast. Okay? And I'm sorry I can't speak today. It's Friday and it's been a full week. We've had like 3 different schedule changes in 1 week. We had the pre-ACT this week. I'm so mentally just over it. And we have homecoming next week, and it's been a full moon. So like, forgive me if I can't speak correctly. How do you fit in when your dad is a ghost hunter and you're starting to see spirits too? For as long as she can remember, Chelsea has tried everything she can think of to distance herself from her father's work as a paranormal removal expert, a hard task when he's advertising proudly all over New Orleans. This year, she's all grown up and finally friends with the popular crowd at her fancy high school. Things are looking up, until a night on the town backfires spectacularly, landing her in hot water at home. Her punishment? Working for her dad at Paranormal Removal Services all summer. Worst of all, her new job reveals an unexpected secret to keep. While Dad hunts ghosts with his own DIY tech, Chelsea can actually see them. And when she meets Oliver, a friendly spirit at the mansion her dad is getting a handsome fee to exercise, she realizes that she has to find a way to save his afterlife, even if it risks everything her father's worked for. So, got a fun little, simple graphic novel here. The kids are always asking for those, and they can only reread drama and ghosts so many times. Alright, next is, The Marrow Thieves by Sherry Demeline, or Demeline. I think it might be Sherry Demeline. Just when you think you have nothing left to lose, they come for your dreams. In a world nearly destroyed by global warming, the indigenous people of North America are being hunted for their bone marrow, which carries the key to recovering something the rest of the population has lost, the ability to dream. Frenchie and his companions, struggling to survive, don't yet know that one of them holds the secret to defeating the Marrow Thieves. So I've heard good things about this. I've read books from her before and liked them, so that'll be fun. And then I got another graphic novel. They had Garlic and Vampire. Garlic feels as though she's always doing the wrong thing. No matter how much her friend Carrot and kindly witch Agnes encourage her, Garlic just wants to tend her own garden where it's nice and safe. But when the village of vegetable people learns that a bloodthirsty vampire may have moved into the nearby castle, they all agree that despite her fear and self-doubt, Garlic is the obvious choice to confront him. And with everyone counting on her, Garlic reluctantly agrees to face the mysterious vampire. With humor, heart, and an unusual heroine with more courage than she realizes, Brie Paulson's debut graphic novel is a farm-fresh take that reminds readers to believe in themselves and that strangers are not always as scary as they might seem. So it's kind of fun for Spooky Month. That'll be a fun read. I'm trying not to look. I do know I had the sequel to Marrow Thieves, like spoiler alert. Oh, I got the first Miles Morales Spider-Man book. So I have the second one that's written with it's more in prose than this one is, I think. This one might have some prose in it. No, this is more like an actual, like, written text. But this is cool because I have the second one. Miles Morales is just your average teenager, dinner every Sunday with his parents, chilling out old school video games with his best friend Genki, crushing on brainy, beautiful poet Alicia. He's even got a scholarship spot at the prestigious Brooklyn Visions Academy. Oh yeah, and he's Spider-Man. But lately, Miles' spider sense has been on the fritz, and when a misunderstanding leads to his suspension from school, Miles begins to question his abilities. After all, his dad and uncle were Brooklyn Jack boys with criminal records. Maybe kids like Miles aren't meant to be superheroes. Maybe Miles should take his dad's advice and focus on saving himself. As Miles tries to get his school life back on track, he can't shake the vivid nightmares that continue to haunt him. Nor can he avoid the relentless buzz of his spidey sense every day in history class amid his teacher's lectures on historical benefits of slavery in the modern-day prison system. But after his scholarship is threatened, Miles uncovers a chilling plot, one that puts his friends, his neighborhood, and himself at risk. It's time for Miles to suit up. So, that'll be cool. Big Spider-Man fans, most of my kids, specifically Miles Morales, but, like, Spider-Man in general is a big topic for them. Ooh, We Deserve Monuments. I think I might have gotten, yeah, I did look down. I've got 2 of these, so now I have, with the copy I also own, I'm probably going to put in there, I have 3 copies now that I can put in here, and so let me just read you We Deserve Monuments. This is a relatively new release as well. When her family moves to Bardell, Georgia on the cusp of her senior year, Avery Anderson is uprooted from D.C. and thrust into the hostile home of her terminally ill grandmother, Mama Letty. The tension between Avery's mom and Mama Letty makes for a frosty arrival and reveals a decades-old conflict they refuse to talk about. Every time Avery tries to look deeper, she's turned away, leaving her desperate to unearth the secrets that divide her family. While tempers flare at home, Avery finds friendship in unexpected places with Simone Cole, her captivating next-door neighbor, and Jade Oliver, a member of the town's most prominent family, whose mother's murder remains unsolved. As the 3 girls grow closer and Avery and Simone's friendship blossoms into romance, the sharp-edged opinions of their small southern town begin to hint at something insidious underneath, and Avery soon discovers her family's roots are deeply entwined with Bardell's racist past. With Mama Letty's help dwindling every day, Avery must decide if digging for the truth is worth toppling the delicate relationship she's built, or if some things are better left buried. Now, I have read this one. That's why I went ahead and got 2 copies, because I did like it. I'm running out of sapphic books that my students have been asking for more. And so this was a very nice one because it's southern. Like, it's, you know, dealing with being gay in the South is not just all roses down here. So they would like a little bit of representation with that. We also have a lot more black female students in my school, and so this is a nice representation for them. So I thought this book was fairly good. If I'm doing a little mini review here, but I did think the ending was a little bit rushed. But it's YA. You get out of it what you get out of it. Ooh, How It Went Down. Okay, I got this because I read this in like one day. There's a video on it on my channel. It's amazing. It's about the perspective of a shooting, but I'll read the back still anyway. The boy in the hoodie has been shot. The known facts are few. Everyone tells a different story, but what's the truth? When 16-year-old Tariq Johnson dies from 2 gunshot wounds, his community is thrown into uproar. Tariq was black. The shooter, Jack Franklin, is white. In the aftermath of Tariq's death, everyone has something to say, but no 2 accounts of the events line up. Day by day, new twists further obscure the truth. Tariq's family, friends, and community struggle to make sense of the tragedy, to cope with the hole left behind when a life is cut short. In their own words, they grapple for a way to say with certainty, this is how it went down. This is a complex story. I would love to be able to teach it. It would be a really good freshman or sophomore text if we were not standard test based, unfortunately. And I still may like pull some stuff in with maybe my AP Lit class, but like this is just so creatively written. Highly recommend it. I ordered it though because I don't have a copy. The copy I read, I borrowed from a student, so I had to give it back to her. Ooh, okay. I'm not going to try to pronounce this title. Because I do not know how to pronounce this title, but this is the prequel to Alatsaway. I believe so, yeah, prequel to Alatsaway. It's a hardcover. That's not bad. I don't think this costs that much either. Again, like I say, like if you're an educator or a librarian, like get on this. I'll put my referral link in the description. Like you do this. I'm gonna read it, even though I haven't read Alatsway yet. I still have it over there on my shelf. Maybe I'll get to that for this month. I don't know. I just started my second grad school class, so it's been a crazy year. Shane works with her mother and their ghost dogs, tracking down missing persons even when their families can't afford to pay. Their own family was displaced from their traditional home years ago following a devastating flood and the loss of Shane's father and her grandparents. They don't think they'll ever get their home back. Then Shane's mother and a local boy go missing after a strange interaction with a fairy ring. Shane, her brother, her friends, and her lone surviving grandparent, who isn't to be trusted, set off on the road to find them. But they may not be anywhere in this world or in this place in time. And no matter what it takes or where it takes her, Shane is going to find them. Darcy Little Badger's Alatsway launched her career, and the years since has become a beloved favorite. This prequel, centered on Nellie's grandmother, deepens and expands Darcy's one-of-a-kind world and introduces us to a cast of characters that will wend their way around readers' hearts. Cool. Love it. Anyway. Again, I don't know how to pronounce that. Look up people who have reviewed it. Oh, Something Kindred. Look at that cover. I knew the cover was going to do that because Gina has shared it on Instagram, and it's really neat, but it's got the two hands like pointing up and pointing down in gloss, while the rest of it's matte. First of all, I love a matte cover, but I love when people get creative with what they're allowed to do as far as this stuff. So, Something Kindred. Everyone leaves sometimes. It's the coming back that matters. Ooh. Welcome to Cold Water. Come for the ghosts, stay for the drama. There are only two things 17-year-old Jerika knows about her estranged grandmother. Her name, and that she abandoned Jerika's mom and uncle when they were kids. But now that her grandmother is dying, Jerika is dragged to the middle of nowhere, Coldwater, Maryland, to say goodbye. So weird, that's 2 books about grandmothers that are dying. When Jerika attempts to form a connection with a woman she's never known and adjust to life in a town where everything closes before dinner, she meets Ghost Girl Kat, who is eager to leave Coldwater and intriguing despite some troubling town gossip. As summer unwinds, Jerika uses her senior photography portfolio to capture the town as it is and as it was, only to discover that Coldwater has a few unsettling secrets of its own. The more you try to leave, the stronger the town's hold. As she feels the chilling pull of her family's past, Jerika begins to question everything she thought she knew about her mother, her childhood, and the lines between the living and the dead. In this commanding young adult debut, Sierra Birch overlays magical realism with the Southern Gothic tradition to craft a timely story about the cost of love, familiar bonds, and the choices that haunt us. Is Maryland really Southern Gothic? Is it just Gothic, maybe? Maybe I'm bad with geography. That did sound interesting, though. It's funny because it's almost the exact same situation as As We Deserve Monuments. It's just like a different genre. Instead of YA, like contemporary fiction, it's like, hey, it's actual mystery here. It's crazy shit happening. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, cool. Oh, that cover is different. Wait a minute. Okay, this cover is different than I saw it in the actual website, but I'm fine with it. Brown Girl Ghosted. Another ghost book. How weird. It's like I had a theme going on. I didn't even realize it. And like ghost dogs in the prequel book. Alright. 16-year-old Violet Chudry's world is built on lies. There's a lie that doesn't matter if she's one of the only brown girls in her small Midwestern town. As long as she tries to fit in, and fitting in means being a cheerleader, bottom of the pyramid, and always being the sidekick, never the heroine. Then there's the lies Violet tells herself, that she doesn't see dead people anymore, and that, Idio, Violet's ancient legacy of supernatural Indian warrior queens have let her go. After all, it's hard to convince everyone you're normal when a bunch of shady dead relatives are hanging around, but Violet's carefully constructed world shatters when a classmate is murdered, and when Iado shows up with a life-or-death ultimatum for her. Violet's mission, use her super secret powers and find the killer, or else she's next. Okay. Okay. Here for it. Here for it. That's kind of fun. Resball, in partnership with Weenie Diverse Books from Epic Reads. I know I got this one for 2 reasons. One, it's Indigenous rep, and we don't have a lot of Indigenous rep in our library or in my library. And also basketball. Anything that involves basketball would be great, because then I can throw it to the kids who are reluctant to read but love sports. So let's read what this one's about. These days, Trey Brun is happiest when he's playing basketball on the Red Lake Indian Reservation high school team. even though he can't help but be constantly gut-punched with memories of his big brother Jackson, who died in an accident. When Jackson's former varsity teammates offer to take Trey under their wings, he sees this as his shot to represent his Ojibwe Reds all the way to their first state championship. This is the first step toward his dream of playing in the NBA, no matter how much the odds are stacked against him. But stepping into his brother's shoes as star player means that Trey can't mess up. Not on the court, not at school, and not with his new friend, gamer Kiana, who he is definitely not falling in love with. After decades of Reds teams almost making it, Trey needs to take his team to state, because if he can live up to Jackson's dreams, their story isn't over yet. This compelling debut novel by talented Byron Graves tells the relatable high-stakes story of a young athlete determined to play like the hero his community needs him to be. That's so cool. So yeah, something kind of simple. It got some heart to it, but I can recommend it to the guys who are a little bit reluctant to read. Okay. We're getting to the bottom, I promise. Lunar New Year Love Story. I just looked this up the other day. I'm excited about this one. Ooh, look at the back. Ooh. She was destined for heartbreak, then fate handed her love. Oh, that's so cute. Look at that. It's a big one, too. This is very big. Val is ready to give up on love. It's led to nothing but secrets and heartbreak, and she's pretty sure she's cursed. No one in her family for generations has ever had any luck with love. But then a chance encounter with a pair of cute lion dancers sparks something in Val. Is it real love? Could this be her chance to break the family curse? Or is she destined to live with a broken heart forever? Very cute. Very excited about that. That cover is gorgeous. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. This is the sequel to Hunting. Hunting by Stars is the sequel to Marrow Thieves. And it's like, I don't necessarily like that the covers are so vastly different. Like, it is what it is. All right. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it because it's a sequel, and I don't know what happens in the first one. So, like, this is just for me. Like, if you wanted to know what the sequel says, you're going to have to look it up because I'm not going to read this one because I don't know what the first one's about yet. Like, I haven't read the first one. Look at that, though. That's pretty cool. It's another one of the gloss on matte. Big fan. All right. I think there's only, like, 2 books left in here. This one's little. Oh, cool, yeah. I got the Amanda Gorman Cause What We Carry, like, her poetry collection. So that's pretty cool. I've got a bunch of kids that I can recommend this to. This luminous poetry collection by #1 New York Times bestselling author and presidential inaugural poet Amanda Gorman captures a shipwrecked moment in time and transforms it into a lyric of hope and healing. In Cause What We Carry, Gorman explores history, language, and identity and erasure through an imaginative and intimate collage. Harnessing the collective grief of global pandemic, these poems shine a light on the moment of reckoning and reveal that Gorman has become our messenger from the past, our voice for the future. So, again, I kind of got it for the Hills We Climb, like, aspect of things. I usually teach on that, but this gives me something to recommend as further reading. And I think I know now what the last book is. It's another basketball book. It's Dragon Hoops. This is another thick boy, and it is a graphic novel. It's textured like a basketball. That's so cool. I hope the size of this doesn't throw folks off. Jean Luen Yang understands stories, comic book stories in particular, big action, big thrills, and hero always wins. But Jean doesn't get sports, and as a kid, his friends called him Stick, and every basketball game he played ended in pain. He lost interest in basketball long ago, but at the high school where he now teaches, it's all anyone can talk about. The men's varsity team, the Dragons, is having a phenomenal season that's been decades in the making. Each victory brings them closer to the ultimate goal, the California State Championship. Once Gene meets all these young all-stars, he realizes that their story is just as thrilling as anything he's seen on a comic book page. He knows he has to follow the epic season to its end, but what if he doesn't know yet is that the season is not only going to change the Dragons' lives, but his own life as well. So that's cool. Again, another basketball book to be able to recommend to a kid is great. So yeah, ultimately, pretty happy with this. Make sure I got everything. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Got everything there. Only had 2 of those. Yeah, We Deserve Monuments is the only one I got 2 of. There's some of those that, like, I might decide in the future to order other copies, but I typically wait and do, like, a 1-a-year order because this was still not, like, cheap, even with $40 off, but it is a lot cheaper than buying them brand new. And it's even cheaper than, like, Second and Charles. Like, a lot of these I found when I was out there in July with Gina, but they're still, like, almost full price books for secondhand or like publisher cast offs. And like, this is the same thing. This is a book publisher was like, oh, well, I need to sell this. Like, let me just give it to this person for $5. Like, and they also do bulk books. I haven't been able to get any, and I missed out, and I'm so mad. They had a bulk, like 24 like crate of Between Shades of Grey, the graphic novel, and it was like $12 for the whole cart. It was, and I didn't get it, and I'm so stupid, because that would have been a really good one to add to like my World War II novel stuff for my honors class, but alas, that is the one thing about First Book Marketplace. They either have it or they don't. And I've had gotten some really good luck with like English as a second language books, so like all the bilingual books, but this time they didn't have a lot of options. This time I was more heavy on the representation and the graphic novels. So, okay, you're so handsome. We matched today. Look, we're both in our brown brindled shirts. You're so handsome. Okay, so I'm gonna go now and organize these. Some of them are going to go straight to the classroom, like How It Went Down and We Deserve Monuments. I've read those. But I may spend some time this weekend reading the graphic novels. I don't know. It's a homework weekend, so I've got some homework to do. But like, if I had free time, I could read graphic novels. We'll see. Yeah. Alright, that's it. That was, like I told you, this is going to be really short. Really short, sweet, to the point. I probably won't be back here until Christmas with like 12 days content. And I gotta plan that out at some point. It's already almost Halloween. Where is the time going? But I just don't have time to make content right now. The school year's crazy, grad school's crazy, life's crazy. So anyway, we're gonna go. You say bye? No? Okay. Bye.